And Zelda will be played by a trans girl. Like, yeah, this is why I don't pay attention to gaming journalists, why I don't care about what they have to say, why I don't read them or talk about them at all, because everything they come out with is a complete and total lie. And this has been pretty obvious for a long time. We've seen all sorts of examples of them lying over the years, between saying that PC gaming is on the rise, to misrepresenting sales numbers, to trying to say that Tears of the Kingdom underperformed. There's all sorts of things that they've been pulling out lately. In recent months alone, they've been trying to gaslight you into thinking the Switch 2 isn't a huge success and that Mario Kart World underperformed, and it's never ending with these people. It really is. And the main reason I don't really talk about a lot of these things is because game journalism is so irrelevant that none of these stories really break into the mainstream. Unless it goes mainstream, unless there's some huge corporate push behind it, then it's not really worth talking about. So, this is a situation that is worth talking about, though, because this is Sony actively trying to protect their interests in dismantling the Pokemon Company and, competing with Nintendo. Right, the Palworld thing. Now, we all know that Pocket Pair is completely screwed and that Nintendo has pretty much already won the lawsuit. Everybody in Japan, where the lawsuit is being held, is pretty much universally agrees on this. But in the Western world, there's been this huge gaslighting campaign to act as if Nintendo is acting out of bounds, that they have no right to do this. I remember when we were being told that Nintendo wouldn't be able to file a lawsuit at all because there was no way they could possibly win. It was always right from the get-go a giant conspiratorial cope. Always has been. But it's shocking to me to see how bad Palworld is doing right now. To see how irrelevant it's become, how it never gets talked about at all outside of the lawsuit the lawsuit situation. Palworld is completely and totally irrelevant, and yet people seriously think they are going to beat Nintendo in this lawsuit, or that they are winning in any stretch of the imagination. You're seeing people right now try and tell you that well, Palworld has it got a Terraria crossover. Yeah, Nintendo's putting out entirely new Pokemon games. What? Palworld came out just after Scarlet and Violet, right? So we're gonna get Gen 10 in the next year or so. So we're gonna get an entirely new Pokemon game. Legends ZA is coming out this year as well. Nintendo was able to put out entirely new Pokemon games before Palworld even leaves early access. Palworld is not competitive, it's not relevant, nobody cares about it at all, and yet we're supposed to worship this game and put it on a pedestal because, I don't know, to own Nintendo, I guess. That's the entire mindset around this process. And the reason why articles like this continue to be written, it's to keep the narrative going for as long as possible. Until it becomes undeniable fact that Nintendo is going to win this lawsuit, you're going to see people come out with these statements. They're going to bring in these experts who are not Japanese attorneys, who will come in and will try and Nick Rekieta their way into relevancy. Well, I think Nintendo is screwed because they changed some things in the filing. Nobody cares. Okay, the reality is Palworld did plagiarize Pokemon. They do need to be dealt with, and Nintendo is well on their way to making that happen. And even now, before the lawsuit has even been has run its course, we're seeing Palworld just lose relevancy. I keep seeing people try and say that Palworld has 25 million players online. You can go on Steam right now and see that it's not on the top 10. This is not a game that's really popular outside of the Pokemon hate community. And that is a real thing that we really do need to address. Palworld is not popular on its own merits, right? It's popular with content creators who want to troll Pokemon fans. That's it. We do have to like acknowledge the reality of the situation. Like you aren't going to make $1 billion brand off of a patent trolling idea. You know, like that's basically what Palworld is. It is a patent trolling idea. And we are seeing that like in the real world, just how irrelevant Palworld is, how it isn't going anywhere, how it hasn't really like exploded, how it's not popular. They keep trying to act like they have this huge like community of people who are like into it and like love the characters and the world and the setting, and it's just completely fake. It is completely at odds with like a genuinely popular brand like say Splatoon or like Donkey Kong or Mario Kart or like any of this other stuff that's coming out. Like, if Palworld was so great, people would be talking about the game itself, not, the lawsuit. And I do think this is like the weird thing about the situation is that like when the lawsuit runs its course, like you're not going to really see these people like able to keep the game in the public consensus. Like, outside of this lawsuit, like the game is already completely and utterly forgotten. Nobody cares about it, nobody talks about it, nobody plays it. Like, it really is the shining example of the end result of like pretendo culture, where they hype up a mediocre product, trying to downplay some Nintendo game, and then like it's the Nintendo game that becomes iconic, the Nintendo game that gets played and bought and enjoyed and becomes a classic like 20 years later. Like Palworld's not going to become a classic. Palworld isn't even going to like leave early access, I think. So what we're seeing is just like this slow, gradual decline of one of the biggest scams, I think, of the decade. And one of the most embarrassing things about this scam is just how many people in the community are refusing to take Nintendo's side on this, like simply because they're Nintendo. Like to me, I think this is the most like shining example of like corruption against Nintendo as a corporation, because so many people are going to bat for Pocket Pair in spite of the plagiarism, in spite of how derivative their game is, like in spite of like, how obvious it is. Like they'll blatantly lie to your face about like, they'll try and say Palworld did not rip off Pokemon, and then turn around and try and gaslight you into thinking like Pokemon ripped off Dragon Quest. I've seen this happen. I've made videos about it. So like none of these people like play Pokemon or Dragon Quest. So it's embarrassing to see them like try and do this. Like this isn't going to affect the actual culture at all, but like they are religiously fighting for Sony, for Aniplex, for Pocket Pair. They're trying desperately to make Palworld a thing, and it's just completely imploding. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to be a thing 10 years from now. It is absolutely going the way of Yokai Watch.